Hey, this is Alex Yoder with Pro Tip Tuesday, my favorite day of the week, and today we're going to talk about evictions. Now, a brief disclosure. I am not licensed to practice law in the state of Colorado. I am not licensed to practice law anywhere. I am simply a licensed real estate agent. I cannot interpret the law and I cannot give legal advice. Everything I say you should run by your attorney, and if you are doing an eviction, you should definitely be hiring an attorney. Eviction attorneys are some of the cheapest attorneys you're going to find. You're going to spend between $200 and $500. Well worth the money and the service that they're providing to you. So what I want to give you is a glance at what the eviction process looks like in El Paso County from the eyes or from the position of a landlord or a property manager. So initially you're going to post or serve your demand notice, your demand to cure or quit. They need to either cure the lease violation or vacate the property. That's typically a 10-day notice based on a law that was passed earlier this year, but it may be a 5 or a 3-day notice. There are some exemptions. I'm not going to go into that. And again, an attorney can advise you on that if you're not sure how best to move forward. It is important that you get that advice. Many self-representing landlords who go into the courts, who we even see as we're sitting in the back of the room going through the eviction process, have to restart the entire process because they simply didn't post the right notice. So that's very important. Be very careful. You may be a month into this thing and now you have to restart the entire process because you posted a 3-day notice instead of a 10-day notice. So just pay attention and do things correctly and hire an attorney over and over. I'm going to keep on saying that. So you've gone through your 10-day period. The 10-day period, if you're posting a 10-day notice, has passed, and you can proceed now with filing with the court or having your attorney file with the court for a judgment for possession. The actual court hearing for the judgment for possession likely will be 2, maybe even 3 weeks out from the end of that 10-day period. So you may be a month into this thing before you actually are sitting in front of a judge. Now, you may not have to sit in front of a judge if the tenant doesn't file an answer. Usually there's an initial hearing, and in many cases the tenants don't file an answer or even show up. So you may get a default judgment and avoid all of what I'm about to say. But if that doesn't happen, you would typically have a second hearing where you do have to show up with your attorney to basically say that the rent is in fact due and the rent was in fact not paid. So just know that. So now you have your judgment for possession, and about 48 hours after you've got your judgment, you can file with the sheriff to physically complete the eviction and remove the tenant from the property. Because in El Paso County, that now requires 2 deputies, you're usually looking at another 3 to 4 weeks. So your entire eviction process from start to finish, in most cases, is around 2 months. I know that's substantial, but that's what it's looking like right now in El Paso County. So you've now scheduled with the sheriff for that 3 to 4 weeks out, and you've got a date picked. You need to show up with a crew of 8 to 10 people. This is all assuming the tenant hasn't already vacated. In most cases, they'll just go ahead and vacate before this occurs. However, if you do have to complete the physical eviction, you need to show up with enough people to remove all their stuff from the property within a 1-hour time frame. You also need to bring a locksmith with you to change the locks. And then you will remove the property. You'll bring gloves, bring trash bags, and bring your crew and get all that stuff out within the hour. And you'll need to leave that personal property out on the curb for a reasonable amount of time. The sheriff department out here tells you 24 hours, so that's what we do, and then you would eventually have all those items hauled from the front of the property. So, evictions can be substantial. You're paying court costs, attorney fees, locksmith, 8 to 10 man crew for an hour, and hauling in addition to the lost rent. So it can be pretty substantial, which is why you want to screen your tenants very thoroughly and try to avoid this happening to begin with. Even if you screen people well, it may happen, but you want to eliminate the odds of that happening. So that is really the eviction process from start to finish. And I just want to give you guys an idea of what that looks like here in El Paso County, and to just encourage you over and over to speak with an attorney because it's well worth the money. You don't want to be taking 90 days to do this because you simply didn't post the right notice or something silly like that. So make sure you're kind of getting that representation and doing things correctly. So that's it. That's it for today. Alex Yoder, Dorman Real Estate Management, Pro Tip Tuesday, my favorite day of the week. I'm sorry it's so late. I'm sorry that I have a shadow right through the middle of my face, but it was a busy day today. So thank you all for tuning in. We will see you next week. Goodbye. Bye.